This is Queens with Accents. My name is Natasha, and my co-host is,
Nadia, hi.
and we have a guest today, and she has beautiful name Mila, and she's right now in Chicago. And Mila, can you say a couple of words about yourself?
Hi, girls. Thank you for having me. I love how you just said queen with an accent.
Queens with
Queens
accent,
with
but
accent,
yes.
yes.
You know what? That's a surprise, but I love it. I think Oprah Winfrey said once, like her quote, think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail, and the failure is another stepping stone to greatness. So welcome to Queens with an accent.
That's
I did not
amazing.
know that. Yeah, my name is Emily. Russian name is Mila Etman from Riga, Latvia. Now live between Chicago and Miami.
Mila is a businesswoman. She does a lot for her community. She does a lot for herself. And today we are going to talk about women in business, power, female power. So the last time we talked about artificial intelligence and what danger or what hope it gives us. And we talked about how it can take away our jobs, for example, and what are we going to do, what we are going to do in the future. And as a women, probably it's even more concern for us because we're already kind of, it's difficult for us to find our place in life and to navigate between business and family. And the age is very important for women as well. The older we become, the more difficult it becomes to find jobs
I
and
would also say, yes, I would
start a
also
business.
say that women are still underrepresented in business. What's going to happen to those
Absolutely.
women who are still like in the beginning of stages of entering, right? And then AI comes and a humanoid comes, and then, there's no more jobs, or we can't offer jobs to other women, for example. A lot of the times when I hear a woman's business, right, a female led business, the first thing that comes to my head, and again, I'm like, I have my own stereotypes. My brain work just as everybody else's has stereotypes. I remember those things like Amway, those things like Mary Kay, right? Those what do you call them?
As,
Marketing, networking market.
uh,
What do you call it?
It's multimedia, not multimedia. It's like a pyramid, right?
Like
So
a right, like that. But there's a special
yeah.
word for it. So,
special word, right?
but this is the kind of business that comes into my head, right? Again, it's a stereotype. I know it's bad. I know not all women, there are women who are billionaires and who make, very tough decisions, who run businesses with, thousands and millions of people employed there. But again, to my stereotypical mind, when I hear a female business, this is what I hear. This is what's coming up to my head.
Hmm.
Pretty sure that, a lot of people have the same stereotypes.
That's true. But I remember it's MLM. It's a multi-level marketing called
Multi-level market.
multi-level
That's
Hmm.
marketing. Yeah.
exactly. So, and
Hmm.
we all remember back in, I think it was 90s, right? I was still like a teenager when my mom signed up for Mary Kay, right? Because her friend
Oh,
was so enthusiastic about it. We can make so much money. We can do this, we can do that. Unfortunately, for my mom, that experience did not really help her make any money. If anything, she lost some money investing in a product because it wasn't the time or the place. In order for you to become
hmm.
successful in that type of business, you have to have many friends, you have to be outgoing, you have to be able to push your product, right? Like, and sometimes down people's throats, which my mom definitely could not do that. And it didn't lead anywhere. It didn't succeed.
We all went through that. It's 100% you're right. It was a time when Mary Kay was the least investment, like amount wise, right? So people invested much bigger into the construction, real estate, new development. It was painful because you're right. We were not ready for that. We did not have enough English. We did not have enough friends. You're exactly right. And
But
we did
because
not
but
know
because
how to
also
sell.
nobody really prepared us.
Yes. And
Again,
plus
my
in the
my
Soviet
mom,
Union, we were not taught. We did
exactly.
not know
No.
how to sell. We thought it's not nice, it's not good. It's the quality. you don't have to have as a woman.
Not right, not
Mhm.
only as a woman in general, right? It wasn't a thing because the people who bought something and then resold something, remember it was actually banned on like the constitutional level. What was it? It was a speculazze, right? So if you
Yeah.
buy something for cheaper and you sell something, that same something for more, then you could go to jail for that.
It was bad thing. It's a normal business here in everywhere in the world, but in Soviet Union it was,
It
yeah,
was a
could
punishable, it's a criminal offense.
absolutely.
It
Hmm.
was, and many people have been punished and been
So
in jail
essentially, yeah, we
for the
were
business with, yeah.
from the childhood, we were kind of like taught that business is bad. You know, you can go to jail for this. And
That's
so
the whole
obviously,
system of the socialism, communism, right, of the Soviet Union.
right. So if you come
Yeah.
from someplace like that, how do you change your mindset and become a businesswoman? Like that is still something to this day that I'm in awe of, like in women who can do it. How did you do it?
And you didn't grow up in Soviet Union as much as Mila and I did. So it's we grew up in Soviet Union, but you still kind of you got that
I caught the end
mindset,
of
Yeah,
it.
that
listen, that's
mentality.
why
Yeah.
your English is almost no accent, right? You came as a baby. You were fortunate.
I was 18.
Yeah.
She was yeah, she was small child, but yes, we came with that mentality. We came later in life, even 18. It's still you didn't grow up here. It's still the kind of puts you in that category where immigrants and we're women on top of it. So it's like we have a lot of challenges to overcome to get anywhere. So I'm like, for example, Mila, how did you do it? How did you start? When did you come?
I came when I was 24, so a little bit later, close to Nadezhda, but because you probably went to school in a high school, not high school, the college, right?
College, yeah.
College, yeah. So I did not have this opportunity, just a little bit. I just took some classes, but I came with the family. I came with my husband already and with the son who was 5 years old. So we needed to survive right away, right? And learn. It did feel like somebody throw you in the water and you don't know how to swim and you don't have a choice. You either learn or yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it's depend on who you are. And I believe in horoscope. I'm a Leo by horoscope. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean I'm as a Leo, I always run. I always go in like in front and like there's no roadblocks, I mean like you build if you even if you don't know something, you learn.
Mhm.
And the same was with our business and English and everything, and adjust to the culture. There was some saying that immigrant women in America, women who are not only build remarkable careers like all of us, many, but also the most important that shaped into American culture, business and public life. That's the most important.
But to me, when I came at 18, right, the same situation, I didn't have a child. However, I did have to figure out how to survive, like you said, like everybody else. My first instinct to survival was to work for somebody else, right? Number one. But then number two, it wasn't let me build a business. It was let me go to school and get a license, right? So this was my thinking because again, my upbringing went the route of like education. You have to get education
Always,
in
always.
order to get like, a certain somewhere. In the sense that I was never picturing myself a businesswoman because again, the way that I was brought, you're not. As a woman, you're not that. You before all of that, you're a homemaker, you're a cook, you're a mother, you're this, you're that, and maybe a thousandth place somewhere way, 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 way beyond. Okay, maybe then you're you're a businesswoman after you've done all of that. So it was hard for me. It didn't even cross my mind,
Not
right?
absolutely. Me too. Me too. I finished
No.
college, but I also had a nursing degree from Latvia. Wanted to become a like registered nurse,
Oh, that's
RN.
great.
So when I
That's what I
came
am.
here, you're right. I came here. The first thing was to go to Stanley Kaplan courses, repass exam, and study and be a nurse. And that's what I did for the whole year, studying until, I realized that it's not my like dream or what I want to do. And it's also, I think in life, it's all path, it's accident. It's, some people, they do know what they want. It was not me.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
didn't. It just, yeah.
I know a couple of families that came here, the same situation. They came here with nothing. They don't know the language. They don't know the rules. They don't know nothing. In a couple of years, 1 or 2 years, they end up owning like cleaning companies. They run them
Isn't that the majority of our immigrants,
a
before
lot.
who came before 89? Do you know the little bit statistic? I'll tell you a little bit, which was based
Uh-huh.
on real numbers, the census. Because I was always in marketing, so we digged in, we learned, to give those numbers to our clients, to show how powerful and strong our community is in America, right? So officially, based on census 2015, I believe, there was 5.6 millions immigrants. And you know that before 89, to immigrate from Soviet Union, you need to be only three ethnic, like you need to be either Armenian or German, or
Mhm.
Jewish.
Mhm.
That's the only legal. So there was a lot of jokes that everybody wants to catch
Okay.
either marry or something,
I
So
didn't know that. Uh-huh.
yes, so 5.6 millions and spread all over. So people really came here to win and succeed. Very smart brains came from Soviet Union left. So that's why the success of the community, I think, a lot of women are here, business owners, and very,
But
very successful.
but again, what my point is that how is it what it amazes me and it surprises me and I'm really in awe of the people who could do that. How do you go from, you know, business is bad to you come to a new country and you're like, okay, instead of working for somebody else, let me work for myself and I'm going to make my future and I'm going to shape my future and I'm going to be responsible for myself, not waiting for wages for salary to come every, whatever second week of the month or whatever, but I'm going to make that. That just amazes me. I don't know how people have the courage to do that and how do they start?
I think it's ambition, and I think it's our system. There was our system, which is, thanks God, it was a very, it was all about education. People are very high educated in America. It's such a spread and broad, yes, there are people who are at wages, people who are happy working in McDonald's or, uh, in the stores, right? And they are not even thinking of opening their new businesses. And I think our Eastern European communities came to succeed with it. Nobody came here for worse life than they had over there, right? So I think
Yeah.
it was already in our programmed mind that I will be before we even came here.
So, um,
Definitely.
Mila, you came before the Soviet Union collapsed,
Yeah,
right? You didn't
89.
get that. I came after it collapsed, so I had this. I lived in 90s, but even though I didn't experience much of that, but I saw a lot of, businesses starting in the former Soviet Union. My mom started um, what do you call it? Челнок? Челнок? I don't even know what to call it. So she started going to different city, getting stuff there and bringing it back. So she never had that experience, but because everyone else basically was doing around her, and she started doing it as well. So I caught a little bit of that, of people who started become independent from big Soviet Union corporations or politics or government, mostly
Let's
government,
just
right?
okay, Natasha, let's just take a step back and
Yeah,
explain certain things to people who might not understand. Because right
it's
now
a lot.
I am
It's a
so
lot.
I'm so used to just, buying stuff online. You just buy stuff online, you order it from Amazon, you order from, the website of the store that you're buying it from, and it gets delivered to you. And you don't even think where it came from. And it might have come
Hmm.
from China, India, I don't know, other countries, wherever it was made. Back in the day, like Natasha's saying, her mom did that. My mom did that too. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, nothing was really delivered by a logistical company, whatever. It was people who went to other countries. Like, for example, my mom went to India And what she brought with herself, she brought like huge boxes of those shirts. I don't remember if you remember those Indian shirts. I don't know if you remember those very like brightly colored ones. They were for some reason some at some point they were like the it.
Probably. I
There was a
remember
store
Malvina
at
jeans.
Moscow, I remember. What was the name where they brought Indian shorts like that? And we were coming from Riga and all over from the Soviet Union. Everybody came to Moscow and buy those shorts.
Well, that's something that my mom did. Yeah, so she bought like a huge box of it and she brought it back. But then again, the difficulty was not only getting out of the country, right? Paying for tickets and all of that, buying the stuff, investing that money, but also bringing it back and selling it. Because if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have a store front, if you don't have, no connections at the bazaar or whatever, right, where are you going to sell it from? Right. So this is where again, my mom also tried it and she hit a snag because she couldn't get that product out. She sold a couple here and there to like neighbors and like family, friends, and whatever, but that was it. And she was left with like a huge amount still that she couldn't move. And maybe those experiences also influenced myself as well, in a sense that I was seeing her struggle and I'm like, okay, well, then it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Girls, I really believe that we are, as a product of this, all of us, of the Soviet Union, we
Mm-hmm.
not taking things for granted, and we were suppressed for how many, 75 years, right?
70 something years, yeah.
70 something years, right? So, and everything was prohibited. And when somebody, like, it's like when you raise a child, right? You learn not to say no. And if you need to say no, you find the way how to, right? So I think it's just theory of Darwin. You learn, you become better, you want to succeed,
You
you want to
survive.
live better, and that's why it's us. It's all us as a product of the former Soviet Union. I really believe that.
Yeah. I want to point that Mila's husband is a famous writer, right?
Yeah.
So when it's a completely different story because it's a creative person. What do you do? I'm a creative person. What do you do in a different country with different language when you're a creative? And it's writing is it's a different atmosphere. It's a different universe. And Mila was very young, so when you came, and did you have any kind type of business in Riga before you came? So would you
No, no,
you
because we came at the Soviet times. So it's
so you had not.
last year we were succeeding actually and made good money on posters because he was always a sport journalist and he was a sport attaché of the Latvian like hockey teams and soccer. So we made some kind of flags and T-shirts promotional, and yeah,
Mm.
but it was like past just before we immigrated.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And
That's
still,
very
they allow
interesting.
us to bring only 250 rubles to change. You know?
That's so funny. There's a lot of like things I never knew. Very
Yeah,
interesting. What did you start with? Like, yeah, you started, but what like you didn't speak English, right? Or you spoke English?
no, I didn't. We both just based, pen, table, those kind of words.
Yeah, yeah. My name is Mila. And
Yeah, my name
where
is
did you
Mila.
go? So you went directly to Chicago?
No, back
Chicago?
then, you don't go directly. We did go, it called like immigration was through Austria. So everybody spent like a month or so in Austria, Vienna. And over
Mm-hmm.
there, they will drive you, uh, they will take you by train to Italy. In Italy, you stay from 2 to 6 months, depend how fast America will allow you to come. And then from Italy, you fly to America.
Wow. That was quite a journey, right? It could have been
Yeah.
anywhere like 8 months and more.
It For us, it was 6 months, yes.
Wow.
And
But
you
it
have
was
250
all
rubles.
of those millions of people went through the immigration like that. It's how they call our immigration.
What is it?
Vienna is Vienna Vals.
Uh-huh.
It's time from Soviet Union, you see the границу, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Then
yeah.
after that, Roman holidays.
Mhm.
You live on the beach, it was quite an interesting time. And then, so Vienna Vals, Roman holidays, and American tragedy.
in American tragedy.
You work hard and that's it. We all know that in America, if you want to succeed, you work so much harder than anywhere else.
Yeah, but you
Well,
got your
right,
American dream,
American dream.
not American tragedy. Yeah, but
It's
But right
American
now,
dream.
Mila, being where you are right now, if you were to have like, I don't know, a room full of young aspiring women who want to be business women, what would your advice be to them?
Good question. First of all, be yourself, and because everybody is different, right? You cannot push out of yourself somebody who you're not. Be yourself and learn about yourself. But the most important, confidence, I think. Be a queen. Always remember that we are queen. And
queens, yeah.
doesn't matter how you look, how you're skinny or you're bigger or you're young or you're older. If you have this queen in you, people believe you. And it's all about the sell yourself. So sell yourself as a queen. That's
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
my belief.
You see, that's why I never could you know what? It's funny. I actually did join Mary Kay at some point. Somebody talked me into it. I can't remember when. I think it was about 2013 or something like that. Somebody talked me into it and I tried to do it and I couldn't do it. Reason being is because I'm not a salesperson. And this was something that I had to realize about myself and kind of roll with it that
That's the beauty of that you realize that,
I'm not going to push something
Exactly. You know
that
what I think? I read somewhere, what is the freedom? When you're young, the
Mhm.
freedom is not to do to do what you want to do, right?
Mhm.
You don't have this freedom. Parents will not allow, school will not allow. And when you get older, the freedom is not to do what you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Like think about that. If you know what you want to do and or who you're not, that's the freedom. So you're a free person if you know already who you are and you proceed with your path.
Definitely. And it was also another thing with for me was that I didn't believe in that product anymore. At some point, again, back in the 90s, it was really a good quality product. But at some point, I was like, I don't believe in it anymore. I don't think it's the highest quality that's available right now. I don't
This is the
like it.
toughest thing to believe what you're selling,
Exactly.
right? Or what you represent. Like you doing
Hmm.
now this interview, right? You believe in what you're doing. You believe that you can empower somebody, that you believe that people are listening and they can get something out of that. And I feel your energy. If you wouldn't believe that, you wouldn't do that, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Natasha, on your side of the spectrum, you being an author and you being an Amazon author, how did you go about the business side of it? Because okay, creative side, we know you're very creative. You wrote a book, you published it, you got it out there, but what about the business side of it? How did you do that?
Yeah, it's completely two different sides of the personality, and you have to bring the sales side and you, even though I don't have it in me, just like you, I just don't have it. I don't like to sell it. So I basically just did whatever everyone else did, and it's just, the ads. That's all you do. You're trying to do ads, and you learn it, and you have to do it. You have to understand it's a business, and no one is going to buy your books if you're not trying to market it in any way, shape, or form. No one even will find it. So you have to learn it and you have to push yourself. If you don't
Yeah.
want it, if you want it, it doesn't matter. You want to sell it, you do it.
Just need to
And
be strong. We need to be strong as a woman and not to, like believe in ourselves and our instinct. Like never underestimate the power of your own instinct, right?
you learn every day. I learn things that I didn't want to learn. I didn't have a choice. That's one way or another. There's and Nadia, for example, she's more. No, you're not a selling time, but you got your education, you started working in the difficult intellectual field, and now you're trying to do your own product, which is a creative product, right? So where are you here? Like, are you more a businesswoman? You enjoying this side of your journey, or you're more a person who works for someone?
I definitely always thought of myself as an employee, right? An employee who works for whoever and collects my paycheck, and that's about it. I When I talk about my business, I say it's not a small business, it's a micro business because it's basically me, myself, and I and my assistant. So, and that's what it is. And it hasn't grown really as far as like staff wise, it hasn't grown any bigger in the past 3 years. But again, because I believe in the product and I believe in what I'm selling, right? This brings me the confidence, and this brings me the ability to actually to actually sell it because I believe in it. I created the product, so I know its value, and this is what I'm proposing. I absolutely hate doing sales calls. And there are some times when people want to talk to me, who want to buy my course, right? They're like, "Oh, but I want to talk to you." And in my head, I'm like, "I don't want to talk to you because then I'm going to convince you to buy it, but I don't want to convince you." And in my head, I'm like, if you as a buyer don't want to buy it, I'm not going to sit here and make you. This is the absolute torture for me. Absolute torture to this day.
Who
Um,
are you by horoscope?
I'm Aries. I'm an Aries. And I, again, also, right? For me, I believe in horoscopes as well, but I only believe in the good stuff that they're right. I don't believe in the bad stuff.
That's a good approach.
So, so I
Positive.
I'm very stubborn. I'm persistent. I finish what I start. Those are the good things about it, but I just hate selling. I despise it. I've taken classes to learn how to do it. I've read books to learn how to do it. I've read articles to learn how to. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
just not
that,
yours. What about you, Mila? How you or marketing? It's all about selling, and you have your own magazine right now. You have two, right?
yeah. It is all
So,
about selling, but you know what? I don't mind. What I
mm-hmm,
don't like, and I'm doing this for 35 years here in Chicago and 3 years already in Florida, right? So Florida is a totally different animal. It's not like America.
That's true.
Feels
That's
like
what I
back.
always say.
Yeah, it feels
yeah.
like back in 90s. It's fun, but at the same time, it's very young Florida. It's young. It's totally different. But what I don't like, just coming back, in marketing, constant changes constantly. So imagine 35 years ago when we came to Chicago, we opened the first Russian language newspaper and we were pioneers. We were the first, we came to
Wow.
Chicago to open the newspaper. Why? Uh, my husband, you mentioned, yes, he was a very well-known journalist. And when we immigrated, there were only two newspapers in America, Novaya Ruskaya Slovo in New York and
Mm-hmm.
Panorama in Los Angeles. Both editors-in-chiefs knew that Alex is coming, Alexander Edman, he's coming, and they both tried to recruit him to come to New York or LA from Italy when we were waiting for permits.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, we're going to Chicago and we're opening our own newspaper. It's the third largest community. That's how it's all started.
Yeah.
I did
Wow.
not
That's so
want to do
cool.
that. I did not know anything in marketing. So we started as a newspaper and almost like instantly became daily. And for over 20 years, less than 20 years, we were daily newspaper. Imagine that. Yes,
Oh
we
my
we
God, that's
did
a lot of
radio.
work.
Yes, but my point is then it's nobody will need it anymore. Then we open the yellow pages. I don't know if do you remember
Yeah.
Yellow Pages business in America?
Uh-huh.
It was huge. There was no social media, there was no digital marketing, nothing. Yellow Pages was like the multi-million-dollar business for
In
everyone
English?
in English, yes. And
That
for
was the
us,
Yellow Pages was your business? That was your thing?
Eastern European outreach.
Okay.
But
All right. Uh-huh.
Natasha, we were the only one in United States who got accepted into Association of American Yellow Pages. And
Mm-hmm.
it was amazing times. It was like you don't need to work hard, you don't need to network, you don't need to sell. it will come to you. But those time pass as well. And the Yellow Pages business died overnight. So the constant pivoting and
Mm-hmm.
adjusting in marketing to be able to keep the clients. I mean, back then we had over 600 clients, and it's, then COVID, you lose 75%, from
Yeah.
600, you hardly cover. Yeah, you need to be very strong and not
Very
to
flexible and know how to
flexible,
adjust and
learn.
learn.
And the key to have young people next to you, because you learn, you get your energy from youth, you learn, and you're not afraid to be a Flintstone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep it
Uh,
going.
a very important thing, girls. So you worked with your husband, so you had your business together. Nadia went to college, and you had a son. Nadia had daughter when she was young, and I have two kids. How do you manage it? How do you manage your family? It's probably easier for Mila because they work together. For Nadia, it's probably sitting on multiple chairs and trying to do multiple things. For me, it was also, I always kind of tear myself a little pieces. Like, what do I do? I need to spend time with my kids. I need to spend time with my mom. I need to do things for myself. How do you manage all of it?
Still difficult. I think it's for every woman is different. Each woman choose different priorities. Some women choose to be with kids, right, and be with a man. And if I would change, honestly, like today, I was a lot about career, and I
Mm-hmm.
always had babysitters. I always had parents helping me. If I go back, like being where I am today, I will not be so much dedicated to work.
Mm-hmm.
I will give more time to my kids. That's one of the regrets that I have. I have beautiful relationship with my kids, but I missed being
How many kids do you
young.
have?
I have two boys,
Mm-hmm.
and I
It's,
have two
uh-huh.
boys, two sons, 41 and 31, and I have three grandkids, and the oldest one is 19.
That's
So
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've heard a speech that it was one of the Grey's Anatomy stars. I don't know them by heart because I didn't really watch Grey's Anatomy like that. But it was one of the Grey's Anatomy stars, and she was giving a graduation speech for a college. And she said, as an actress, as a mother, as a producer, because she wore multiple hats on the show, she said, I'm always asked, how do I do it all? How do I make it to my kids' soccer games and I still have a career and I also do like my producing stuff and I also do this, and the other one. And her answer was, you don't.
you don't.
You don't make it to all of your school games. You don't attend everything that you need to attend. So she said, you because you're one person, you also have 24 hours a day, just like everybody else, and you just have to give that time and spread that time to the things that are the most important at the moment. Sometimes it's kids, sometimes it's not. And you just juggle it all over the place. And that's how you seem, right, to have gotten it all. You seem to be everywhere, but you're really not.
Yeah.
She said, you're still
About
missing things.
balance, but where is the balance? You chase this balance all your life.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's always some kind of regrets. I regret that I didn't dedicate a lot of more. I wish I dedicated more time to myself and the things I wanted to do. And I did. I didn't have babysitters. I didn't have my mom here. My parents, like, no one helped me with my two kids. So I had to spend, I spent a lot of time with them. And I think maybe I could balance it better and go to school and get another education, like something. I think we always have some kind of regrets. Like, do you have any regrets, Nadia?
Oh, like motherhood in and of itself, I think is a lot of the times just built on regret, built on
Yeah.
guilt, right? You always feel
It's
guilty.
always guilty, yeah. Even though I spent a lot of time with kids, I still think, did I spend that quality
Enough,
time?
right?
And
Enough.
now, if is it quality time? It's maybe I could do more. Maybe I
Right.
could push more from myself, squeeze something out from my ears. Yeah.
It's a constant guilt trip. That's number one. Always, you're always thinking, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have pushed more here. Maybe I should laid off over here, right? Definitely there are regrets. If you ask me for every single year of my motherhood, definitely there's regrets. But what I'm what I'm thinking is that instead of regretting it, we should just focus on how life kind of it doesn't balance itself, but it navigates itself.
It definitely is.
So
Yes.
at
Oh,
some point, I can definitely see my kid probably talking to her therapist, maybe, down the line, telling the therapist how mommy didn't do this, mommy didn't do that. But if you look at it from the other side, right? Maybe I was the mom that was supposed to be there or not be there at that particular time to shape my daughter the way that she was supposed to be shaped. If I look at myself, I obviously can find and pinpoint, certain things in my parents, of my upbringing, and I can say, oh, maybe, mommy shouldn't have done that. Maybe daddy shouldn't have done that, or should
Mhm.
have been more with me or not. But truth be told, whatever they did or didn't do shaped me the way
who
that I
you
am right
are
now.
today. Yes. And we did the best what we could, right?
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think that's the only comfort I can give myself is that I made the best decisions with what I was given at
Yes.
that time.
And talking about, let's remember, last week we talked about AI. With Mila, we talked about age. How do we do this, girls, now? How do we not, get depressed, stressed with all this AI things, with us getting older? Where do we go? How do we continue? Do we push more? Do we just sit down and relax and, I don't know, watching birds? Like, because Mila is going to celebrate a beautiful next step in her life, right?
Yes. This month, July
Yeah.
24th, and that's been tough to realize the number, you know, because what? It's not me being turning 60, 60, it's me.
Wow, you look
I'm
great though.
I'm not 60. I'm not. This is
No.
not my number, you know, but it is, and to embrace it and love it, that's what I guess, I guess, right? And you're asking about how
Hmm.
not to be depressed. It's impossible. You do get depressed. You do start, you start thinking you cannot take it away, but to work on yourself and tell yourself, listen, you're beautiful. Age is the only number, right? It's all how you feel. And if you still have your energy, like for example, for me, I don't think I will ever retire, even though that I probably already can. And
Hmm.
I just love it. I think it keeps me younger, and I love people. I love what I do. I did not lose interest in 35 years, and I will keep it going.
That was my question. Or are you planning to slow down and
Slow down,
have?
yes, because I do want, as you, one of the regret not to have for myself time, right? So I
Hmm.
do. I have so many like hobbies that I want to bring back. Like I paint.
Tell us maybe something about what do you do during the day? What is your routine? Do you exercise? For example, maybe it's a little bit a different subject, maybe switch a little bit. But how do you balance your day? Now your kids are adults. You have grandchildren. You didn't need to think about what you should do. Now it's your kids' work. How do you keep up with everything what's going on
I
and
I
keep
believe I
yourself young?
believe I believe that sport is one of the most, like my mom. I would not speak about myself. I want to say about my mom. She's 84. She's absolutely gorgeous, humble, beautiful, in good shape woman. The way she
Hmm.
keeps her going every single day, doesn't matter where we are. If we're like now, she's in Jurmala in Latvia
Hmm.
with her sister. Every day, doesn't matter where she is, she gets up and for 1 hour, she's doing her routine exercise. And without that, like everything else will wait. Exercise to be in mind, like healthy in mind and in your body, and not to be burdened to yourself or your kids. And that's what I believe what should keep us going. I do exercise, like this morning I already went to yoga. I was swimming in Lake Michigan, even though that the water is freezing today.
I
It's
can only
not
imagine.
ocean in Miami.
No, no, it's very cold. And I think it's cold always. I
It's
think it's always cold.
today was extremely. I ran once and I went back. Then I again just 2 minutes, then 5 minutes. It's crazy. But again,
Yeah.
coming back, it's a sport. keep your mind and hobby is everything also. And
Mm-hmm.
continue doing that and surround yourself with the younger people. That's the key.
True. True story.
You can always ask a young person how to work that new app that came out because
Exactly.
you guys might be laughing, but even myself, right? I find myself not knowing the new fad words, not knowing the new, little. Have you guys heard about the labubu things? Okay,
Yes.
whoever invented that, okay, that is a
By the way, it came from Hong Kong, right?
great business person. I don't know who it was, a
Absolutely.
woman or a man, but a great business person, right? Amazing. But what I'm saying is that I didn't even know was a thing. I didn't even know. I had to ask, right? Somebody who was younger, somebody who was like hipper, somebody who I'm like, what is this?
I found out on TikTok and I thought they were making a joke. It was video about like the wife was pretending that she was buying something for $1,500 and she's like, it's labubu, labubu. And he's like, what is labubu? What is it? Labubu? Labubu? What is it?
Labubu.
What
Yeah.
labubu? Why? What? I'm like, what is? I thought they were joking. It's a thing actually.
It's a thing.
And it's
Um,
making a lot of money.
Well, there's marketing. That's marketing for you. What did they do to give this little toy such a huge life and people spend so much money and
It is
excited about
marketing. It is
how
right
long
marketing.
well, Nadia, what about you? I don't think you're going to slow down anytime soon. You have another 30, 40 years to go. What are your plans? How are you going to balance now from now on?
I don't know. I'm actually finding myself that I might have more time now because my kid doesn't need me anymore, really. Not really. My little tailed tailed kid doesn't want me anymore because right, she only wants me when I feed her, and that's about that. So essentially, I have more time now to do whatever it is I need to do. I picked up the embroidery, right? So that's now
Mm-hmm.
my new hobby now. I embroider things. It's fun. I like it. I started reading a new book. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it, but I'm gonna read that, the nonfiction, and try and see if I can get something useful out of that. Um, I don't think I'm gonna stop moving because I like I like exploring just because I'm curious like that, not because I'm like pushing myself in any way. I'm just very curious about things, and there's a lot of things to be curious about.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think, girls? So 20 years ago, 15, 30 years ago, especially, it was for a woman, it was difficult to start a business, and she was judged if she was trying to balance kids and business and her career. Is it easier now? Is it easier for women immigrants to come to America and start their business than it used to be? But also, of course, considering that we're living in new realities with AI and everything. So are there more women business women than it used to be? What do you think?
I don't think it's easier. I think we're still being judged. If you're child free, if you're a woman and child free, right, you're being judged compared to a man who doesn't want a family, right? Which is like, oh, okay, he has time. It's okay. He can get a child later on in his life. But if you're a woman and you're saying that this is my point, this is how I choose to live my life, a lot of people start saying, oh no, but you can't do that. You're selfish like that. You have to have children, at least one, and then there's a lot of judgment built into that. If you already have kids, right? If you came here as an immigrant, as an adult, and you already have kids, and you're trying to set up a business, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, people judge you. Why don't you take care of your kids? Why don't you pay more attention to how are they growing up? Look at them, right? They're walking around in dirty clothes or whatever. There's always some kind of like judgment, I feel. There's not a lot of support coming, and sadly a lot of that judgment is coming from other women. We
No,
don't
didn't make it.
necessarily support each other in a way that we can promote each other and that we can further each other's careers and be happy for one another. It's
Yeah.
I still feel like we're stigmatized a lot. And if it's a woman's business, remember we were talking about this comic, this Russian speaking stand-up guy who basically says if a man does business, he's bringing like the big bucks, he's bringing like the dough, he's bringing the money. And if a woman is starting a business, she has a little bit of like his her little monies. Денежки, денежки, he
Mhm.
said,
For
right?
herself, for herself.
Right. It's not like the big bucks. It's little money. And that is the stereotype I think that still exists. If you're a woman, you're not really taken seriously. Nobody really, thinks that you
I'm
can.
a little bit disagree with you. I believe that social awareness about really gender equality became much better. There's so much resources, mentorship programs for women. And I think men realize today, I think it turns opposite. I think women become more leaders today and men take advantage of being with those smart women because women brains work differently. We need more than them.
I
We take
agree.
care of the kids and the same time we need to take care of the house. We're so multitasking and most men not. So I think it's yes, it is still a man's world. Agree with you. But
Yeah.
it's I think it's easier for women today.
I think it's became easier from one side. I agree with you, Mila, and from with you, Naya, on because there's a spectrum. On one side, yes, where it's the world is more accepted and women got their rights to work and do their businesses and have leadership roles and all of that. But at the same time, they themselves even they want to have kids. But the gender roles are kind of slighted, they're changed. From women, the men expect from women to do 50% now, like it's a normal thing. The woman is expected to to put bread on the table and raise the kids at the same time. It's still her role to raise the kids. No one is going to take it away from her. And some men, stay-at-home dads, it happens. Talked about feminine and masculine. Remember, Nadia,
Mhm.
how we still try to, how women try to get traditional now. Well, some women, they don't want to do it anymore. They don't want to do
Exactly.
50-50.
Exactly. I
But
think I
not
think
going back.
excuse me, I think for your question, it's not harder right now for women, or it's just it's different path.
It's
It's
confusing,
a
I think.
confusing and totally different path right now.
Yeah, it was easy, even if women were frowned upon and judged maybe, but it's still women knew their roles, and not a lot of women wanted to be leaders. And they, if they started doing it, they thought, okay, I had nannies, I have housekeepers and all of that, and I will do my business. But now it's shifting again in the direction that women do have. You have to take care of your kids. You have to give them what they need to get the love, the care of a woman, of a mother. And if you want to, get your business, like my kids, they go to school, they know they have to make their own money. They're not going to rely on men anymore. They're not going to look for a man who has money to make their life. So before it was like, I need to find a rich husband, right? 30 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
now it's opposite. Man wants to find rich
A
wife,
rich wife.
especially
exactly.
especially older one. 5, 10 years older, it's normal. She's successful. That's crazy what's going on.
Yeah, it's a different field, battlefield.
But you know
Very
what's
different
still
jungle.
interesting? We took an interview from the like Wintrust Bank, the director of operation. It's our big client in Chicago, and they're opening couple of locations in Florida. And we were talking about the subject, women in business versus men in business. And
Hmm.
another statistic number that
Hmm.
it's still uh, for women, it's a problem in business, even if they're successful it's less probability to get funding, the venture capitals and everything than men.
But it's
Women.
still not changed. Basically, that's what
Hmm.
I'm hearing. You know what's funny? Actually, growing up in Turkmenistan, I saw women take charge and I saw men take a it was very weird because a lot of women were the ones who were doing business. If you go to the market, who was selling the stuff? Majority of them were women. It didn't matter what they were selling. They were selling clothes or they were selling food, they were selling produce. It was women who was doing that. It was women driven business, right? Even though they had children, even though they were very much traditional, a lot of them were traditional. And men were still considered head of the households, even
Yeah.
though a lot of the times they were not even contributing to the household. They were just mooching off of, whatever. It's a
Because they're
weird, weird,
smart women, because they're smart women.
weird,
Mm-hmm.
weird time. But right now, in from what I understand, right, from what I read, again, because I've never lived in Russia, but one of the biggest people, like in their version of Forbes, is a woman who owns Wildberries, right? Like our version of Amazon, right? She,
I don't
because
even know that. I don't even know
I
what
did
it
not
is.
know that either.
it's a woman. It's a woman,
Oh,
and
wait, I did watch a documentary about her. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she's right. She has an Asian appearance. I don't know exactly, what her ethnicity is, but she is like one of the biggest dogs out there right now. She has a lot of money, a lot of capital. So she's like the Jeff Bezos of
No, again, this is not very often happen. There's still old boys club exist, and
Exactly.
yes, you can be successful in a certain, like I'm in a small business, even though that we did affected a lot, and we've been a center of influence of the huge community, especially in the Midwest. It's a still small business. How you
Mm-hmm.
as a woman go into this big old boys club to reach the real success, I think only like very small percentage of women were
That,
able, and behind them that should be a man who understands and supports, right?
yeah. So women still have to prove themselves. They have to maybe act tougher than they are in real life just to show, yes, I am this leader. And but you're right, actually. You mentioned, Mila, that thing that sometimes a lot of women get their funds for their businesses from their men. That's true. They don't start from getting loans from banks, but they have somebody behind their backs.
Yep.
The tough world we live in, girls. The tough world.
I think it's always tough. I think every generation, it's how we look into that, how we live it, how we breathe it, and how we
Yeah,
pivot it, into different
that's true.
age, different success, empty nesters, so it's
Yeah.
constant battle
Constant
that we need to be
changes of
strong.
stages. It's stages for us.
You want to do it, do it. And that's the
Exactly.
answer
There's
to
no
just
tomorrow.
do it. No tomorrow. Did you read? I'm
No.
sure you read Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
Yes, I
Mm.
have.
Live today.
I
I
actually,
think it's
actually like that book. It's very motivational. Um,
Very.
and then yes, I read it, but then my question was like, I don't really know exactly what I want, so that's a whole another thing, right? To talk about
Another conversation.
another conversation.
another conversation.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I think it's perfect, to wrap it up with optimism, with on a positive note, that yeah, we have regrets, we have to live with it and maybe not think about what happened in the past, what we could have, and it didn't happen. We don't have control over it. But live now, try to live at least now,
Very
somewhere
good. I
between the
wish you
lines.
good luck. I really wish both
Yes,
of you and all the women, because we all need luck besides anything.
That's true
yes.
too. Well, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank
If you, whoever's listening to us, if you guys became motivated by whatever we said today, if you just listen for background noise, if you just like the timbre of our voices, go ahead and sign up, subscribe, click like, share with your friend. We love all of you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being with us. And until the next time.
And thank you so much, Mila, for being with us today, being our wonderful guest.
you for
Yes.
having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a wonderful day.